It went well. Anytime you can with officials, practice some live clock situation, live down and distance situation, see a bunch of young guys in live action for the first time is great, and so we'll watch the film and kind of evaluate everybody. Got a ton of reps. I think we were about 130-ish of offense and defense, and then probably 20, 30, about 34 special teams reps, so a bunch of good stuff.
Nice. Any of those young guys stand out to you today?
Reggie Daniels has been a ton better. He really stood out on special teams. Darren Carrington made a couple plays with the ball in his hands. Needs to work on his ball security a little bit, like all the young guys. Kanai Benoit had a couple of good runs. Defense did a really good job right at the beginning. We had a couple no huddle situations where they stopped the offense, but overall fairly clean on both sides. Would have liked to seen it to be a little bit more physical on both sides. For whatever reason, not as intense as our practices have been. And we've had some really good practices, and part of that, you're bouncing back and forth between odd situations, and we did some second and long work to get some different third down situations. So, but good work day.
Mark, on
how about Thomas Tyner's situation?
What's his status?
I don't know what his situation is. His status? He's a tailback here at the university. He's getting better. He is. He's one of those guys that you could talk with him the other night of. He's just to cut it loose, of not worried about making mistakes, don't worry about being perfect. Those guys as freshmen, they kind of have one speed. It's either or one of two speeds rather. They're kind of analytical almost to a fault where they kind of slow down, or it's just just I'll go run into the brick wall if I don't know what I'm doing. And he's more on the analytical side of things, but he's getting better every day.
He walked by here
He is.
He walked by here in a cast and crutches.
Yeah, there's been a lot of guys in casts and crutches.
Are they real, or are you? Are they?
Tell you,
for us to
tell
try
you,
to
but
figure
I'd
out
have to kill you.
Can you give any update on Thomas? Is he injured? Is he 100%?
To my knowledge, he's 100%.
He's 100%.
There's guys. The protective boot business is a good business. Should have gotten in that business model.
So he practiced
or training
today?
model. Yep.
Mark, can you say a few words about the backup quarterbacks, how that situation is going behind Mark?
Yeah, those guys both have had kind of some bright moments. A couple times I get pressed a little bit, trying to force something that's not there. But overall, happy with their development.
Any difference between Jeff and Jake?
Not really. We were talking about that a little bit the other day. Jake is, probably has a little bit stronger arm on paper, but Jeff gets it there about the same time, just in terms of decision making, time of release, and he's got a good arm too. Put those guys in a couple more situations today, a little bit more than normal to try to separate them, but it didn't happen.
Mark, you talked about the number of reps that you had today. Is that about where you want to be? Is that ahead or behind where you should be?
It just depends on a day like this. Sorry. Oh, that's recording. There's a lot of situational stuff, so you could have a red zone play on the 30, and like the ones one time had a 2-play drive for a touchdown, and then the next drive it might have been a 6 or a 7-play drive for a field goal, so it just kind of varies. But our numbers have been very good throughout fall camp as far as just our pace and our tempo.
You guys had refs today. Did your guys learn anything about penalties, any situations?
We didn't have anything, come up with the new rules or anything kind of out of the ordinary. So, but it's good. We had a couple pass interferences, a couple holdings in a one-on-one situation, had a couple holds on the offensive line. Overall, decent procedure-wise at this point.
Are there any new rules that the refs are really trying to stress?
Well, there's the blocking below the waist rule changed again, which has changed every year for about the past 6 years. It's a moving target. And then the targeting rule, there's the 3-second clock rule at the end of the game, and we talked about that the other day. It came up in a no-huddle deal we were doing. None of those came up today.
What's Garrett Campbell all these years? What's he meant to this program?
Cam's an icon, an absolute icon, and that was one thing I was going to talk about today. He's had a personal family issue that he's been away for the past couple of days, and has nothing to do with football and has everything to do with him and his family, and we wish him absolutely nothing but the best.
Coaches were upstairs today too. Is that kind of more simulating what it's going to be like game time for Scott to be up there? And
yeah, just trying to get all those. we'll do that this time and then one more time before the first game.
Coach Aiken will be on the ground, I assume.
Yeah.
And then, so for you today, it was kind of the first time being on the ground and communicating with somebody upstairs?
No, we do that in
communicating?
the spring all the time.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
First offensive series, who'd you put out there running back? Do you remember?
I don't remember. I think it was Byron, but I don't remember. I think D'Anthony was playing receiver. I don't remember. Thanks.